A small fire burns inside a frozen shelter. Outside, the ground is white and empty. Spring is not days away, it is months away. For ancient humans, winter was not just cold, it was a long trap that kept closing. Food disappeared, water froze, animals moved away, darkness came early and stayed too long. Every night asked the same question: how does a soft, hairless ape survive all winter? The answer was not one great invention. It was a stack of fragile tricks: fire, fat, clothing, shelter, memory, and other people. Remove just one of them, and winter could become a wall. The first winter problem was not snow. It was heat leaving the body. A human body is a warm animal, but it leaks warmth everywhere, through skin, breath, bare hands, and frozen ground. So ancient humans did something strange. They did not wait for a warm world. They built a tiny one. A hearth was not just a campfire. It was a climate machine, a circle of heat in a dead season, a place where wet hides could dry, a place where children could sleep. Controlled fire changed the human story. It gave warmth, light, cooked food, and protection from animals outside the glow. But in winter, fire had a cruel demand. It had to be kept alive, not once, not for a night, again and again, through wind, snow, hunger, and exhaustion. A fire that dies at noon is a problem. A fire that dies at midnight is a threat. So winter survival began with maintenance. Someone had to gather wood. Someone had to guard embers. Someone had to know which branches burned slowly and which only smoked inside the shelter. The shelter mattered because fire alone was not enough. A flame in open wind is almost nothing. A flame behind stone, hide, or earth becomes a small captured summer. Archaeologists find hearths inside caves and rock shelters. Their placement was not meaningless. A fire near sleeping space could warm bodies. A fire near stone could hold heat. A fire away from bad airflow could keep smoke survivable. This was not comfort. This was design. Stone by stone, coal by coal, body beside body. In Ice Age Europe, shelter could become even stranger. At Mezhyrich, in what is now Ukraine, people built structures using mammoth bones. Skulls, jaws, tusks, and long bones became part of a human living space. To modern eyes, it looks impossible, a house made from giants. But on an open, cold landscape, a giant animal was not only food, it was architecture. Its bones could anchor hides, its body could feed a group, its remains could help block the wind. That is the winter logic. Nothing large was just one thing. A mammoth was meat, fat, bone, fuel, tools, and maybe the wall between people and weather. But even the best shelter could not solve hunger. Winter turns food into mathematics. The body still needs heat. Heat needs calories. Calories need animals, fat, stored foods, plants under frozen ground, or luck. This is where the old image becomes wrong. Ancient humans were not simply chasing meat. They were chasing energy. Lean meat could fill a stomach, but it could not solve everything. Too much lean protein without enough fat can become a problem for the body. So fat was not a bonus. Fat was survival. Bone marrow mattered. Grease mattered. Brains mattered. Fatty fish mattered where rivers still offered them. Underground roots mattered where people knew the plants. Imagine a cracked bone beside a winter fire. Not waste, not leftovers, a hidden fuel tank. At Qesem Cave in Israel, researchers found evidence for delayed marrow consumption. Bones could be kept, then opened later when their hidden fat was needed. That small delay changes the story. It means planning. It means restraint. It means the future was already sitting beside the fire. A hungry person could smash every bone immediately. A winter mind saves some of the richness for later. That is not primitive. That is accounting. Ancient winter may have demanded the oldest kind of budgeting. Not money, calories, not a calendar. Memory of cold. The season had to be survived before it began. Long before snow covered the ground, people had to know where animals moved. They had to know which places still held roots. They had to know what could be dried, what could be carried, and what would rot before the cold protected it. Winter punished forgetfulness. It also punished bad tools. Because staying warm was not only about fire, it was about carrying warmth on the body. Then comes one of the smallest objects in the whole survival story: a needle. A tiny bone needle with an eye does not look like a winter machine, but in cold places, it may have been one. Loose skins help. A hide over the shoulders is better than nothing. But fitted clothing changes the human animal. Sleeves trap warmth around the arms. Seams close gaps. Layers hold air. Boots protect the feet. A hood protects the head, where cold can steal heat quickly. Archaeologist Ian Gilligan and colleagues argue that Paleolithic eyed needles mark something important. Not just covering the body, tailoring the body, turning animal hide into shaped insulation. A sewn garment is not only clothing, it is portable shelter. It lets the human carry a warm boundary into places the naked body should not enter. This may be one reason humans could push farther into cold lands than bodies alone allowed. The needle does not roar like fire, it does not look powerful like a spear, but it changes the map quietly. A person in fitted skins can walk farther, a child can stay warmer, a group can sit longer in winter darkness without burning every branch in sight. But clothing also created work. Hides had to be scraped, softened, punctured, sewn, dried, repaired after ice, smoke, and rain. Winter did not pause ancient life. It turned every mistake into a cost. A torn seam could mean lost heat. Wet hide could mean misery. Lost embers could mean a dangerous night. A missed food chance could echo for days. So what did ancient humans do all winter? They maintained the fragile world they had made. They fed fire. They patched clothing. They cracked bones. They dried hides. They watched children. They followed animal movement. They listened to weather. They remembered where food might still be hidden, and they did this together. That is the part most people miss. Winter did not only test human bodies. It tested human groups. A lone human could carry firewood. A group could keep fire alive. A lone human could find one food source. A group could remember many. A lone human could get sick and disappear. A group could carry the missing weight. Winter compressed people. It made weakness visible. It made sharing practical. It made attention valuable. Knowledge became a winter storehouse, not stored in jars, stored in people. Which wood burns long? Which plants hide under frozen ground? Which shelter fills with smoke? Which child needs more warmth tonight? The oldest winter tool may not have been an object. It may have been attention. That attention had to stretch across time. You had to notice tracks before hunger came. You had to gather fuel before darkness came. You had to repair clothing before the seam failed. You had to tell children where not to wander before the white ground made every place look the same. Maybe this is why winter made humans more human, not softer, more dependent, more watchful, more tied to each other. In summer, a mistake can be absorbed. In winter, a mistake can spread. One person forgets the fire. Everyone wakes cold. One person wastes fat. Everyone counts the food again. One person knows the hidden root patch. Everyone may reach spring. This was not kindness as decoration. It was kindness with consequences. A hand passing food across the fire was also a survival technology. A story told in the dark was also a map. A warning about a valley was also stored heat. And the darkness itself mattered. Long winter nights gave the mind fewer places to run, less movement, more waiting, more repair, more watching flames and faces. A fire pulls people into a circle. The dark presses in from every side. Inside that circle, humans could teach, argue, grieve, laugh, plan, and remember. Maybe winter did not create storytelling, but it gave stories a powerful job. A story could hold a root, a warning, a dead animal's pattern, a rule about sharing, a memory of a winter that almost ended everyone. In summer, knowledge can be tested outside. In winter, knowledge must be carried inside. So the answer is not that ancient humans slept through winter. They did not simply hide. They worked in a slower, harsher rhythm. They made heat. They guarded heat. They wore heat. They ate stored heat. They shared the memory of heat. All winter, they were building small summers inside a season that wanted them gone. And that is why the modern version feels so strange. Today, winter reaches you through windows, through weather apps, through heating systems, through coats you did not sew, through food that traveled farther than your ancestors ever walked. But your body is older than those things. It still notices darkness. It still wants warmth. It still gathers near light. It still feels safer with other bodies nearby. The ancient winter did not disappear. It became quiet. Behind the walls, behind the switch, behind the warm room, there is still that small fire. And somewhere outside it, the long white season is waiting.